hot. Hot as a motherfucker.
Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm here with my friend Erica. You guys have seen her before. I'm in many of her videos. She's in my videos, so you guys should already know who she is, period. So as you can tell by the title, you already know what we're gonna be talking about today.
I feel like I'm on the red table, and I'm like, oh, so I know your videos we get comments. Yeah. I already know about your drag.
So hold on, let me fix my boob. This is sort of like a sequel, I guess you could say, to one of my other videos where I talked about should white girls be laying their edges. I got a lot of comments from a lot of different women around the world asking me if Hispanics can lay their edges, can Asians lay their edges. Some people were commenting like, oh, I'm mixed with Indian and white, can I lay my edges? Like, you guys were literally like saying please reply back, like as if you guys were seeking validation from a black woman from me to give you the go-ahead. And you know, as I said in that video, do whatever makes you feel beautiful, but at the end of the day, let's not act like this wasn't something that used to be called ghetto a few years ago. Okay, so this is sort of like the sequel where I'm gonna be answering the question, can Latinas or Hispanic females lay their edges? So yeah, we're gonna get into that. And today, of course, I brought my favorite, my best friend who's Latina onto this video because I want her to give her spiel about it and her like thoughts about edges and if like the Latina Hispanic community should be doing it and like what's her opinion and stuff like that. All right, so I'm gonna shut my mouth because I could really talk, but like what do you think? Because like I don't know if you saw the video, but I really went into like culture and background and racism, and like so as like a Hispanic female, like I have a bubble in my throat. What do you think like about Latinos laying their edges? Do you feel like they're like stealing from the black community? Do you feel like it's racist? Do you feel like you guys have a right to edges as well culturally? Like what do you think?
Damn, that's hard. I feel like it depends the person, because like especially like me and Sabrina being from the city and then like moving upstate, I definitely see some whitewashed Hispanic people or Latina / Latino people. So it's like I think like when it comes to stuff like this, because obviously this is a big trend like on TikTok and stuff, it's so hard because if you keep it to a yes or no, then when you see certain people doing it but they're doing it in such like for the wrong reasons, it's like damn, like I can't even say no more, you know what I mean? Like I want to be like, no, I don't think it's really racist, but then I really see some people do it and like you can tell they're racist, like you know what I mean? They're just doing it for like whatever like society or like trend kind of shit it is, like, but it's like they don't have no type of like respect for like anything else about it, if that makes sense. So I think it's really different. I'm just gonna take me because my whole debit card is out. Hi. I'm gonna just give you guys a little like background about me, so because it's like hard for me to say my opinion because I'm mixed with like, if you know the difference between like Latina and like Hispanic, and then I'm also like Afro-Latina, so it's like it's a little different, like because I'm like Dominican is like in the Caribbean, so it's like if you do your research, I have a lot of things in me, so for me personally it's definitely a different opinion. Like, you know, you can't tell me shit about like edges and shit like that, you know what I'm trying to say, because it's like, you know what I mean? But like it's so hard because then you have like Mexicans trying to do it, or like more like for example like Spain, like white, like Hispanic. So it's like I feel like it's very hard. My opinion is definitely like there's just like a whole rainbow of Hispanics, exactly, and because you have your white Hispanics and then you have your Afro Latinas, and it's just like it's really hard to just give one answer. I'm gonna be honest, in my opinion, if you're like Afro-Latina or like just straight from the Caribbean, because it's like we call it Afro-Latina but we're dead-ass Caribbean, just like if you was from Trinidad, but like people consider it black, but that's just because like I'm, for example, like I'm Dominican, right? We just have a bad stigma of not representing ourselves well or being part of the black community, so that's a whole different video. But like for example like stuff like that, like bitch, you're Caribbean, that's just what it is. So like that, I say like yeah, you have full right, because if you do your research and like you're studying and all that, like you can see why. But I feel like Spain or like stuff like that is like, I feel like if you're not coming with a bad intent, because I don't know, like me and Sabrina are very similar, but I would say for me, I'm not so like, how do I say, like nitty gritty, like I'm not so much like I'm not sure that's like oh my gosh, you know, actually like oh my god, like, oh, like, you know, I'm not like that, like so it's like for me, you know, not saying that Sabrina is, but she'll definitely like pay attention to it more. I don't like, you know, but I am still very like pro-black and just like making sure people do things like and understand like what they're doing. So I am important on that, but I don't get offended by things, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I think it just depends. I'm just gonna be honest, let's just go strictly to white people. That I can't lie, I do have somewhat of a problem with. Just for the fact, and yes, you could be like, oh, like we can't go back to our ancestors, yes, and like, you know what I mean, like yes and no.
Yeah, with like racism and everything.
Right.
Not even our
that's
ancestors.
what they can say, oh, I can't wear edges because my ancestors like were like slave owners, and it's like, but comments like that, you just messed yourself up. You know what I mean? You just kind of blew it up for yourself.
You gave us more of a reason. Like, my thing is also, if you identify yourself as like a white Hispanic, because I have a Hispanic friend. I'm not gonna say who it is, but this person is I forget, but he said, I forget exactly what. But he really be calling himself white. He identifies himself as a white person. He called himself white in front of me so many times, and I'm like, but when this person's mom,
what exactly is he?
I think he's I want to say El Salvador.
El Salvador, that's on the equator. That nigga's definitely not white, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
he's not white.
And Caribbean, I think he's some type of Caribbean. Colombian. He's Colombian. And also,
I'm gonna say Caribbean is technically black people just pick and choose what they want.
So he's yeah, this person is Colombian, but like he will tell me that he's white, but when his mom calls, they speak it in the whole Colombian language, talking Spanish to each other. And like, I guess because we went to the same high school, and like, just like Erica said, like there's a lot of Hispanics who will get very whitewashed and even will identify as white.
And believe me, it's a real thing. A lot of people will be like, what's whitewash? Or like, don't, like, they think that's racist, like calling people whitewash, like how can you be white? But
no, like some people will really be so whitewashed that they will identify themselves as a white person if they could pass, you know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of like, it's a very broad topic. I would say I'm fine with you know, Latinas, Hispanic women laying their edges, because they also have a cultural background with it as well. I think Selena did it. You know, it's very, you can identify edges with the Chula, am I saying it right? With the Chula community and their history of how with their fashion and how they did their makeup and their styles. They definitely did their
especially performers back in the day, like women. If you like research that. Also too, like there's like, and that's the one thing I will agree on, because I've just seen it on TikTok and stuff. The one thing I will agree on is like there is a difference between edges and baby hairs. You know what I mean? Like most people who are like, you know, like Selena and all that stuff, like she had baby hairs. You know, like she didn't have edges. You know, so there is a difference. And so when you say laying edges, that's the thing. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of white girls want to say laying edges. That's not, it's not, that's, I think that's a really, like, you know, I think that's where people get, like, especially confused. Black people, I think that's where they really get some type of anger, because it's not edges though. You know what I mean? And I saw a good example of somebody I follow, like edges is like when you have your little, I mean, I slicked the shit out of my hair, like I did a whole hairstyle, but edges is like when you have like your little kernels, and like they're literally, like we both did our edges, so it's like hard to explain. Like we did the same type of hairstyle, so like our edges are like not really edges right now, but like, how do I explain that?
Edges are sort of like just baby hairs, like flyaways that you'll stick back.
No, but some girls will like, they have it like, you can go like that, but it's still baby hairs because it's like right here. And but it's not technically though part of their hair.
I guess it depends on the length of the baby hair. If it's longer, it becomes edges.
No, if it's longer, it becomes baby hairs is like baby hairs, like, but it's like, it's a hair. Edges, I feel like,
regardless, I feel like it's the same concept, like tomato type shit. But at the end of the day, I don't get mad. Like if it's like, I honestly don't see a difference between laying edges and laying baby hairs. It's the same thing. Like nobody's like, if somebody lays their baby hairs and then they're standing right next to a person who lays their edges, like I feel like you're gonna look at it and be like, it's the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like
no, because I think you even saw some pictures. You never seen girls like try to swindle, but they have no even type of edges or baby hair. They just like. And you're just like,
yeah, but
like,
that's
you
just,
have to do
that's
that.
just stupidity though. That's just not.
No, there's a lot of
some girls will take like the hair from back here and like fucking, I don't know. Some girls even cut their hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you could tell.
My thing is, also I bought, in my last video, I bought this topic of hair texture into it. Like,
that's what I was trying to get, yeah.
A lot of Hispanic girls and Latinas do have like the same hair texture as black women. So like, they have also the reason to lay their edges. And also, I just feel like, I personally, I do identify some certain Hispanic people as a part of the black community, like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. And I say, yeah, it's fine for me. And also they have a history with edges, and they also have the same history with oppression and discrimination as black people. So like, I just feel like, yeah, I'm not gonna combine our history and say, yeah, we go through the same shit all the time. Of course we have different backgrounds, but at the same time, I feel like Hispanics and black people are like almost one and the same, and we always march together, we fight for our rights together, we live in the same ghettos and communities together. Yeah, and it's just like, we're very adjacent with each other's culture, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like Hispanic people and black people are just like this, and it's always sort of been like that. And at least for me, like growing up, like I could connect more with a Hispanic person rather than an Asian person. Although we're all minorities, like I would connect more with a Hispanic person rather than an Asian, or rather than an Indian person, because like, it's just like that, we just have that level of understanding. Like, our people is almost like the same, or technically we are the same. Like, the Dominicans share the same island with Haiti. You can't, I'm sorry, but
I truly believe Dominicans are black.
Yeah, there's no telling me that Dominicans aren't black. I'm sorry, but like,
yeah, it's honestly like ignorant people that have put such a stigma on it. Just, you know what I mean? Like, literally, if you know about Dominican Republic, a lot of the language, like, that's why they say like Dominicans don't like speak like proper Spanish. That's because they have, from back then, like, you know, like
Creole.
Yeah, exactly. They have it mixed in. That's why when you go to Spain and you hear Spanish, you're like, so you know what I'm trying to say? But we made it a big divide because they have beef, right? The DR and Haiti. So it's like
Haiti gained this
independence.
It gained its independence first, while Dominican Republic was still colonized by the British. And that's why that's where you get that divide. So that's where you get that, you know, that beef. But at the end of the day, they was more than welcome to come over to Haiti. You know what I mean? But they decided to stay in DR, and that's when they got, because the Haitians, they were still Haitians when they was in DR, when they was divided. They were still technically Haitians. But when the British started coming over and raping them, that's where you got the British blood and Haitian blood combined, making Dominicans. Dominicans is literally a mixed race group of people. Dominicans are literally like Haitians and its colonizers in one. So that's where you get a whole new baby boom of a whole new race, I guess.
Yeah,
so yeah, like I view Dominicans as black people, and I say, yeah, go ahead, because like, you know, at the end of the day, like, if you have a dark-skinned Dominican standing next to a black person, nobody's telling you guys.
Literally, you might even get confused on which one is black. And you're like, which one's black, but like,
so I feel like for me it's a yes, because culturally, like, we just have like that same, like, we don't have the same culture, but it's like, you know, we have the same background, we have a lot in common, and it's just like, at the end of the day, we go through the same oppression. Now some people could fight me on this and say, but no, there's a lot of racist Hispanic people. And yes, but you have racist black people towards other black people at the end of the day, and that doesn't justify,
God forget it, but like, you know, like black people Trump supporters. It's like,
at the end of the day, no, that does not justify Hispanics being racist to blacks. But if you really want to talk about it, like, you have to look within the black community first and fix that issue before you go and be a hypocrite and be like, oh, but Hispanics can't do it because they're racist.
And a lot of people will be offended by what you just said.
I know,
when they're like, oh, start with your community first and then worry about other people. People are like, fuck that, and they only want to worry about like what white people are doing stuff. Now, there's a lot of people that are like you.
And I'm quick to correct the black community. I'm very quick. I'm not gonna come and correct other communities for what they do to the black community if the black community can't fix their own problems first.
Period.
That's why I made this channel, so we could talk about that and start fixing our problems within the black community and have that conversation that nobody ever wants to have. But that's for another video. So I just want to
I'm waiting for that one.
But yeah, I feel like Hispanic girls can do it. You know, we have the same background, same history, and like, you guys have the same, they're the same freaking nappy hair texture as us. So
Right.
like when your baby hairs stick up, lay them shits, you know. I'm fine with it, but just also realize that you know, black women did get a yeah, we was oppressed, I guess, in a way for having our edges laid. We was told that it was ghetto. You know, a lot of
black lights make me blind. Oh my God.
yeah, right. We was told that it was ghetto, and it's just like our whole lives, like all of our hairstyles have been like
Literally,
discriminated against, like all of our natural hairstyles. That's why you have black women today who can't literally veer away from taking off their wig or veer away from wearing a weave, because they have become so accustomed and assimilated to this culture of being freaking damn near like a white girl's hair texture. So
also too, like I would say, like ask someone, be like,
yeah,
like I personally wouldn't, because that's the thing, like Sabrina keeps saying Hispanic. I think there is a big difference between like Afro Latinos, you know what I mean, and like Hispanic. So it's like I wouldn't necessarily say ask an Afro Latino, because like she'll probably have literally the same hair as Sabrina, you know what I mean. So it's like, why would you ask someone that? But ask a white person, be like, why did you want to get cornrows? Why did you want to lay your edges? Just ask them. I think you can learn a lot on why people want to do it. Some people, and I know it might be hard to believe, but some people genuinely like the hairstyle.
Yeah.
Even if it, and I'm telling you, even if it will fuck up all their hair, because you're not really supposed to do certain hairstyles like box braids and stuff, and a lot of white girls' hair has fallen off because of that. Just saying, but they would genuinely like it or show appreciation. So that's, you know, you can't really hate, you know what I mean. But then there's some people that's like, oh, because this bitch didn't, or like, oh, I can't, like they don't even have any. It's like, oh, why can't I? And then they want to start talking all, and it's like, you know, I think people's, you know, just talk. How about we just talk to people? How about we actually get to, like, you know what I mean? Instead of just being like a hater, how about we actually talk to people, find the reasoning, and then, you know, make your opinion after that? Because some people are just ignorant. Some people really just like the hairstyle and don't really see, you know what I mean? Or like will do their edges, because I forgot what I'm talking about edges. We're not breaking. Sorry.
Some people are just not even ignorant
or
at all.
Like maybe they don't think it's wrong, and you know, that's some
people live in a household where they don't do research on other people's cultures. They just steal from it, because that's what, you know, they've been doing all their lives, like their grandparents and their great grandparents. I'm personally okay with people doing things within black culture as long as they learn and have that knowledge first. Now, if you're just gonna wear it without like being like, okay, these people were definitely discriminated against for doing this. Now, before I go and dabble in their culture or dabble in their hairstyles, XYZ, I'm gonna take the time to educate myself and appreciate it before I appropriate it. So definitely do that and you're fine, you know what I mean? But I honestly see like Hispanics go through the same discrimination. We have the same history, so you already have that knowledge, you know. You already have that knowledge on what it's like to be a person of color in America. So just go ahead and do it, because you don't have to do that research because you experienced that discrimination. So like, do it. I mean, not all Hispanics, not all Latinas, because some are white passing and they probably don't have never experienced that discrimination. Now, if you are a white passing Latina and some people think that you are white, do that research, because obviously you never experienced that discrimination that I'm talking about. Now, people who look like me and look like Erica, they go through that type of discrimination and that type of racism. So we don't necessarily have to do that research because we experience it in our personal lives. So we can go ahead and swoop our edges because we don't have to do that research, right?
And it's not saying, like, I mean, maybe that is what Sabrina's saying, but like in my opinion, it's not necessarily saying like just because you like haven't been like, because I feel like me and Sabrina have been through a lot just because of the circumstances of where we live. Like, obviously not to put our business out there, but just like where we live is just very harsh when it comes to white and people of color. So but I'm not trying to say like, oh, just because like you literally have not faced one thing in the world, like it's like you know what I mean? So like, don't, but like Sabrina said, just educate yourself, you feel me? Like, educate yourself, and if somebody ever wanted to rebuttal with you, you can hit them with the facts. I think that's what she's trying to say. I just personally don't think it's just like, oh, if you never then you can't ever wear this again, like ever in your life. You know what I mean? But like, you know, especially if you're white passing, like just do your research. That's all I have to really say. Like, if you have it in you and you feel like it's appropriate and you feel like you're mixed, or you have some black in you, like that 5%, you know how people be reaching that 5% black in you and stuff. If you feel it's this, do your research and then make sure you got shit to back it up. You feel me? That's just what it is.
Yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say. You know, it's a go ahead for me.
Right.
Some of you guys really be in my comments like asking me, please answer, please.
Right.
Like, I'd be like, yo, like don't come to me for validation. Don't come to me as somebody who's gonna give you this go ahead. Like, do your own research first. Like, you can't just go to any black person you see and be like, hey, can I freaking lay my edges? And if they say okay, that means it's fine with the entire black community. Like, no, like do your research and make sure it's okay with you based on your knowledge. You know what I mean? Don't seek validation from me. But I decided to make this video because I had a lot.
Definitely too. If you what's it called? If you do this with like, you know, like what the other people that comment, like Indian, Asian, I think it'll be more interesting. Me and Sabrina, obviously, like we're very similar, and also like I have a lot in me and I'm mixed and stuff, so it's like that's why I'm very just like, you know, I have the same opinion as her. Definitely if she was to do with someone Asian, Indian, I can't wait to watch that one, you know, because I think it's more controversial, you know.
The Asian community, like actually they have history with edges too. That's
what I'm saying, it'll be more interesting because a lot of people might not agree with them. I'm telling you.
No, I mean,
a lot of people get hate when it comes to like, because you know Asians are more fair skinned and stuff, so it's like that's why. But
no, in their community they definitely, I remember somebody told me Asians actually started edges, and like if you look it up, there's a lot of Asians who do edges, but I feel like just like with braids, a lot of different races, you can't really like say like this race like started braids, because like although like I'm fully like saying that Africans did start braids, but a lot of races have their own history with braided hairstyles, but Asians do have like their history with edges, just like black women do. So I don't know, can Asians do their edges?
You gotta find a friend. You gotta find a friend. That would be interesting.
Yeah. No, I have an Asian friend.
Really?
Yeah.
That'll be lit. I want to see that one. You know what I want to see? I want to see Indian. Because I was watching a few things, and like not Indians consider being black, but like
I've never seen an Indian
like,
person lay their edges though. But I did get comments from like girls saying, hey, I'm Indian, like can I lay my edges? Like,
because you know how like sometimes like, isn't it? Oh, I'm bugging. I don't know if you want to leave this part in, but like you know how sometimes I was watching somebody and they said something about like Indian, but like also from Egypt, and like Egypt is in Africa. Like Indian people, I mean they are, that is true. They're brown people. They are people of color.
Indians are Asians.
Asians, yeah.
Indians is just Indians are literally just dark-skinned Asians, and I guess like
maybe I was thinking of something different, like maybe just like an Egyptian person, period.
Yeah, Egyptians are black people. I mean, some people.
No, but that's what I was saying. Like a lot of black people were like, no, because you know, like a lot of them, not a lot. I'm not gonna say that, but some of them are like very light skinned.
Yeah,
like my color or lighter. So it's like
I feel like,
but they're literally from Africa. So it's like
Egyptians. Like
what do you mean?
If you identify yourself as a person who is Egyptian and you're from Africa, like some people will literally like, I don't know how you could like not say that you're black and you're from Africa.
Some people they'd be like, I'm not black, I'm Egyptian, and you're like, okay, like whatever.
That's like me
that's
saying,
cool though.
I'm not black, I'm African.
Like no, but there are some black people that say that. You never heard that? Some people be like, no, I'm not black, I'm African, or they'll be like, I'm not African, I'm black.
That's the same shit. I'm sorry, but like I know
it is ignorant, but you know my boyfriend says that, and I be looking at him like, what
guess,
do you mean?
Because some people think of it as, oh, that being black is the thing that our slave owners called us or something. I
don't know why he said that, because is that like offensive? Because I used to ask my boyfriend like every time he'll be like, oh, I'm just black. I'm like, do you know where you're from? Are you Jamaican? Because I always think my boyfriend is Jamaican. So I'm like, I always ask him like, are you Jamaican? Are you like African American? He's like, I'm just black, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I don't want to offend him. So I mean, just like,
some people will say that and not even know what they're talking about, or like not even have like context to like really give you a reason on why.
Or just not even know, honestly.
Yeah.
They just don't know, like where, you know.
I say I'm black.
I know a lot of people that just only refer to them as black, and I'll be like, okay, where are you from? Like, you know, like, what do you mean black? And they're like, I'm just black. Like, do you not see me? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I like, some people will really ask me like, oh, but what else are you? Like, that's when I'll get annoyed and I'll be like, oh, I'm just black. Like, don't ask me what I'm mixed with. Like, even though I have like some Chinese and some Native American in me, I'll just be like, I'm black. But yeah, anyway, so I think that sums up our video. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I hope you guys enjoyed me and her videos. Sorry.
We really rambled, honestly, but like,
I don't have that many facts like Sabrina, like research, so like hopefully I didn't say anything ignorant or offend anybody, but
you guys already know I be putting warnings at the beginning of my videos, like, so if you're gonna come here and just know, like,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So anyways.
Also too, I think, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with our opinion. We basically said like yes, but just educate yourself, and I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, yeah.
It also is very broad. Like, like I said earlier, there's a whole rainbow of Hispanic people.
Literally.
Like, it just depends on where your environment, where you were raised. Like, like we're over here in America, we have the ghettos where it's like, you know, a nice diversity group, and like, you know, like we all know each other. And then you have Putnam County, and then where it's just like super whitewashed.
Literally, so, like a 10%.
Yeah. But anyways, I think that concludes our video. Erica's information will be down in the description below. Her Instagram, her YouTube. Make sure you go check out her channel. We just did a video earlier, so definitely check that out. And yeah, don't forget to comment down below, thumbs up this video, and subscribe for more. Bye guys.
I got it. Yeah, I want it. I got it. You like I want it. I got it. Yeah, I want it. I got it. She thinks I want it. Got it. I want it. She got it. I want it. Got it. I want it. Got it. I want it. I got it. Yeah, I want it. I got it. It's because I want it. I got it. Yeah, I want it. I got it. Yeah, I want it.